I am higher vibrations, and so are you. If there's any audio difficulty, please let me know. I'm in a kind of a new setup. So I see that there's been comments since before I came on. Let's go to it real quick, and the ones that I can look at in my phone. I see that Mariette says, "Can you tell me if strong lower back pain is common?" Yeah, that is a common ascension symptom as a result of heavy sun flares and Schumann resonance. This is, oops, there we go. I guess I went live on my phone here. Anyway, so this has been something that people are experiencing. This lower area has been activated. I've noticed that the activation energy looks kind of like, I don't know the name of the shape right now. It's two cones atop each other meeting at their peak. So, like this, you know, that's what the energy looks like coming through and then leaving out through this um, root chakral space. Lower back pain. Carmen says, "Yeah, I can't sleep at night because of it." Um, maybe that's a separate symptom, though. Yeah, it's a lot of people are having this. I've noticed it was just really dull as soon as I feel into what I was explaining about how the cone energy is meant to be like this, and this is our root chakra area. So root chakra is, we know exactly where that's at. However, right now it's this whole lower chakral area that we're talking about in particular. So there's this place. It's the sacrum. It's in the area of the sacrum. There's something there that we're getting this cerebellum. What is it? Anyway, the activation that's happening through that. There's this. It's like a portal. It looks kind of like where our chakra enters our body in the back of our neck, just where our head meets our neck. It's also like that down in this place I'm trying to describe. That's the very low back. And so visualizing what this is sometimes help is why I'm trying to describe it for you. Because then we can direct it with intention where we would need it to go, would like to guide it so it can get done easier, more efficiently. And so this portal, it looks like a portal of light entering this area of our body and sending this energy up through like a kundalini experience, very similar to it, all the way up through and into our pineal gland, out through our crown chakra, this activation area. So allowing the light to move through and then letting it release. We look kind of like a porcupine of light when we're guiding it to do what I'm trying to describe. So I don't know if this makes much sense, but when I started to do that, I just started to feel I was relieved. It was the best immediate relief for it. This is really common though. This lower chakra area has nothing to do with being better or lower in that regard, like less or better, whatever. It's just that's the location, okay? And that's, yes, one of the first steps to the octaves of the staircase that we're on. And it comes through like that's the first step. It's, if we don't do these the way that they're as thorough as that they're needed, we go back. I don't know if you all remember those conversations before. We kept talking about how, if we've missed a step, if we didn't spend enough time in a particular step octave, we just go back a little bit. We don't go back to live. We go back to pick up, your backpack that you left there or whatever it was, So anyway, thank you for that comment about that. I'm going to try to catch up with some of the things if you guys comment before I come on, I don't get to see it here. And so I'll just scan it again. Robin, I see you. Hey, Arkansas sister, do you have any info on the giant waking up in the Pacific Northwest, Alaska, and south of there? I'm trying to ascertain what I'm feeling. Hope you're both well. Wow, it's so good to hear from you. I'm so glad you commented and that I looked back to see it. Yeah, lots of stuff going on in this area right now. Oh my goodness. The amount of stuff that's occurring is over the top. And it's not just here. There are points. It looks kind of like there are 4 points. Each of these points are being activated simultaneously right now. kind of into the evening and into the early hours this morning. Tomorrow morning, I mean, we're going to be having some really cool stuff. And this is just worth noting. I don't know why, but there's some really strong Odin Nordic kind of stuff. Like I I'm not that person who really pays much attention when I'm getting ready. I just go, and I don't do my hair like this, but I like took this Nordic Odin kind of thing today. And then my daughter and I are having matching shirts. That's why I'm wearing this shirt. But when she wears a shirt that we both have an example of, I tend to wear mine too, just because it's fun. When you have a kid and they want to do that. Anyway, something's going on with this. I just wanted to bring that forward. So let's go back to the comments. Hello, Janet's here. Hi, everyone. The spine is intense, wouldn't you say? Yep. So here we go. There's another comment about this back. Nausea too. I'm really glad Echo brought this up. Nausea. So the nausea that everybody's been experiencing has been really odd. Similar to, but not exactly like morning sickness, because it's just that it comes on so abruptly and then it's not really affected us exactly like as expected. Even the little ones are having this. Usually it's fleeting and there's no result of it, but feeling sick to the stomach, like you're going to vomit. Yeah, like there's a lot of, it's crazy how many pregnancy symptoms we're having. No matter if you're female or male, this has nothing to do with the body that you inhabit. It has to do with what it feels like. So, and then the irritability that goes along with pregnancy symptoms, the bloating stuff, water retention stuff. It's all of the freaking pregnancy symptoms. Irritability. Some people would call it more than irritability that they're having. I've heard of some pretty extreme examples. Just these little micro frustrations that flare up into something bigger than was expected. Things like that. The taking on the extra water into the body. Our bodies are so impressionable right now. You can like poke and then just leave a mark on someone. It's really weird. A lot of people are having this. So Nezzy says, same here, all the above, especially brain fog. So I missed a comment about brain fog because it was commented before I got on. But yeah, thank you I'm so glad that you echoed what was said before, Nezzy. The brain fog has been, and keeping like, I don't know, I just feel unfocused and unmotivated along with it too. So I've wondered if it was just because I just seemed to not really care as much, but my vocabulary has kind of disappeared. I've been kind of become a classic joke of the squirrel, because I mean I will completely lose the plot all the time. So Holly says crazy energies, upheaval, restlessness. Yeah. I've had like this time. What's been happening with me is like that. I bet, well, I'm sure everybody, but it's really odd, is I am incredibly motivated physically. My body's like, yeah, let's go do this list of things. But it's like my soul doesn't want us to. It's not like, oh no, don't do that because something bad's going to happen kind of a thing. It's more of like, nah, why don't you just stay here? Why don't you just experience and be in the moment, feel the oneness that's coming in? And you're like, well, but I could make an Ascension Symptom video. I could go to the grocery store. I could mow the lawn. And if my soul is like the one that's telling me no, because I have this energy, I can feel the energy. And I want to get those things done. I'm the one that created that list. I'm the one that said, hey, I want to do this and this. I enjoy mowing the lawn. And then so I went out I'm like, I'm just going to mow the lawn. Even my soul says no. And then some random guy on a riding lawnmower just appeared and finished my lawn for me. And it was like, and his like spirit's like, I told you, sit down. So anyway, I don't know if anyone else is experiencing that as well. Hello, Kenny. Good to see you. Major lower back pain and in my hips. Yeah, I think that, I wonder if your comment was the one that I brought that up. Yeah, so that's really Definitely. The hips. So this was something that we had started coming in about a week ago. If it didn't affect your hips, it went straight to the knees. Many times it goes from the hips to the knees, though, and it looks like a triangle shift. It's a good thing. It's that triangle shift that they showed me that was going to happen in the sky. I really thought those were stars that were just moving, and then I was like, wow, it made a cool shape, and then it moved, and I wasn't even thinking, oh, that's probably spacecraft showing me something. But yeah, it's the recipe, or the way it looks as we go from the Trinity to the Quadrinity, remembering that the Trinity is not being left behind. It's just that it's becoming more, just as you are, as you merge with your higher self and your higher self's higher self, and so on and so forth. It's not sacrilegious or thinking of yourself as higher than someone to understand that we are doing this. We're doing this, what you call a climb, kind of absorbing our higher self, and then becoming, um, then our higher self becomes our higher self. And it's a profound change in mind and body that occurs typically overnight in a very short, brief window of time. And everyone around you can see it, but often we can't see it in ourselves as well. This happens throughout life. This always occurs. It's just happening in a more rapid succession now, as is time. Y'all been noticing time speeding up the way that it is? Oh my goodness. Trying to keep track of time right now is ridiculoso. Nezzy says also dry lips and headaches. I've been having the headaches again. I've been free of the headaches for a very long time, and they're back. Yeah, and the dry lips too, like real cracked. And being as hydrated as I can be, staying as hydrated as I can is actually going to take a second, drink some of this tea really quick. In the South, everything's always about sweet tea. Around here, it's kind of cool. I like cold tea anyway, in the summer when it's hot enough. Okay, so a lot of need for more water, and this has to do with salt as well. By the way, just to answer a question from Nezzy, or a comment from Nezzy, noticing that the water intake is actually sometimes these days feeling like it's dehydrating us. We need salt, and so highest frequency salt you can get that is readily available is Celtic salt. However, if you have the, where it's a Himalayan pink salt, that's good too. I definitely don't use iodized table salt at all for any purpose anymore. I used to, of course, we all did. I can tell the difference, so I don't. Anyway, a little bit of salt under your tongue before you take a drink of water, or adding the salt to a small amount of water and swishing with it, and even swallowing some of it. Our bodies are really needing it right now. We have a lot of purging kind of stuff going on in our bodies. And I almost blocked somebody. I was just trying to click your comment so I could show people as I'm talking. And so the need for, I sidetracked myself, and see, someone had commented the brain fog, and this is what I'm talking about. Keeping focus isn't typically something that's difficult for me to do, but it's become that way lately. Hello, good to see you, Colleen. I love you too. Grief, fatigue is overwhelming. This is a really, really common thing that's happening right now. There's a lot of layers to this, a lot of things that are occurring that's creating this experience for many. Though one of the things that's useful to highlight is often that what we're feeling is actually grief of ourselves, saying goodbye to who you are or who you've been, the frequency that you've kept, being in the vibration that you've been in as long as you have, even if it's not the most pleasant or aligned or balanced. It's still where we've spent our time. Not simply this lifetime, but many lifetimes before this one as well. And the Akashic is largely filled in the human experience. Part of the Akashic is largely filled with the resonance we're saying goodbye to. And so the familiarity of that is across the board. And allowing ourselves to grieve something that we may not have enjoyed is sometimes something that requires effort or intention, allowing yourself the gift of grief, to feel it, to let it go, say goodbye, you know, be okay with, you know, it's the kind of Stockholm syndrome stuff, isn't it? Where we're saying goodbye to the captor energy and moving into the freedom frequency. This pink frequency is the freedom frequency. You know, this portal window that we're in right now is only just picking up pace. We have I was today's this, so yeah, it's exactly next Sunday, a week from today. There's a spike that's going to be really cool, and that spike's it's not going to stop between now and then, though. We're going to keep climbing a little bit, some more stuff, and then through, like, so it's more like the Saturday, so 6 days from now, which would be the 15th, in through the 22nd. Really, we're going to have a lot of big activations and stuff. Though the weekend of this next weekend is going to have some solar flares that are going to be profound, and they're not scary. They're not something to be worried about. It is an activation, though, and so a lot of us are going to feel it. As a result, the fatigue that was just mentioned by Deb is going to continue, because we're being asked to stay and be quiet in the quiet. And so fatigue is usually our body's way of saying, I said sit down, you know, and this allows for us to process, digest, and metabolize, what's the right word, bring in this download, this new frequencies that are coming in for us, readily being given, and just need a receptor, receiver. And this leads into the next part of what's really happening energetically, spirit wise. What I've been strongly guided to talk about with everyone at this point is opening your heart to receiving at this time. Because most of us, people like you and me, have been conditioned over time, over a great amount of time, not only this lifetime, to limit our belief in self-worth, low self-worth talk, having low, these types of things. Don't always beckon in and welcome the receiving of awesome stuff, because worth. I'm not worth this, or I don't think that I deserve this. And most religious groups that I had frequented throughout my life, because I did experience many religions, looking for what we all look for in these places. And I found that one of the most common things that you'll find in these religious groups is the need to very greatly humble self below the deity that's being presented in worship. And this presents the inability to receive. And so allowing yourself, if you can, take the time to do such things as self-affirmations, like Guy Smiley and Saturday Night Live. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And gosh dang it, people like me. It sounds silly. It sounds contrary, to a lot of what we've been taught. Many of us find it most cringe-worthy to say kind things to ourselves. However, if you can allow yourself to do this will help you. Another thing that you can do is to declare, I open my heart to receiving. I am open to receiving these types of things. So as you come online, then you're more able to accept those things. Oh, I forgot to, I'm sorry. Truth, dry mouth, cracked lips, nauseated and headaches, teeth issues, ding, 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 check, check, check. Tick, 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 as they say in the UK. Yeah, all the things that everybody else has experienced. And also this weird water retention, bloating kind of thing. Very, very reminiscent of pregnancy, early pregnancy as well as late pregnancy. Some people are feeling the sensation of labor pains. As there is a grand purging going on as well. There are a couple of different kinds of levels of purging occurring right now. The planet's purging, the body purging, and so our skin is really struggling. We're noticing, not struggling, but we're noticing these weird acne things, no matter your age. There's these weird acne stuff. It's the toxins leaving our body through our pores and getting stuck somewhere along the way. This also has become these weird ingrown hairs as we've begun to regrow hair. I've noticed, at least for me, I've been regrowing hair. I didn't realize my hair had thinned as much as I had until it started to come back. Um, and as well as lower GI, purging, frequent bathroom trips kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of this stuff, as well as the teeth thing. This salt water, rinsing the mouth with salt water really, really, really helps. It's good to see you, Tanis. Love you. Um, and so salt water helps for a lot of different reasons right now. It's weird. It's one of those things. I feel like that. You guys ever see that movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding? He's always like got the Windex for everything. And like everybody's got their Windex, right? Everybody has their fix-all thing. And if it's not Epsom salt, then it's some other kind of salt. Right now, it's weird. It's really bizarre. And so skin stuff if you can take a bath. I've also, done the thing when I didn't have a bath available to me where I was getting a washcloth, wet washcloth, and kind of dabbing it very lightly on some Epsom salt and doing that as like an exfoliator kind of body scrub for the Epsom salt. Our bodies really, really can use this right now. Water's foot soaks. You can put it in a bucket that's big enough for at least 1 foot, and try to do both feet. So you put the other one in after the one's finished kind of thing. But lots of stuff. Yesterday, as he says, things are removed many times in my apartment, especially my fan in my bedroom. It's just starting, girlfriend. There's a lot of stuff like this. What's occurring? It's really bizarre. It feels like for a lot of people, including myself, when these energies first start to come in, they feel very much like they're entering, they're joining for the first time. When instead what it is that we've raised our frequency high enough to perceive them. I know it sounds really weird, but like, here, let's take this off so I can show you. So let's say you were vibrating here, which is a great place to vibrate. There's nothing wrong with this place of vibration. However, there are objects that exist in the vibration frequency of this, and up and up and up, right? And so as we raise our frequency, we don't usually raise our frequency straight like this either. Usually it's more like this is how we ascend. We really do. And sometimes the dip is a little bit deeper, and sometimes the stream is a little bit higher of a spike. And as we do that, we're fading in and out of the visual spectrum of this thing. There's always a spectrum of visuals, a visual spectrum. Once you get above the thing, you can always look down and see it. It's just how it works. What's fascinating, though, is as you go higher up above this thing, then you can actually see it for more what it is. In a more reality kind of way. It's like that new version of Mickey Mouse, the distorted one that's like they're selling to kids, and it looks like it's made for adults. It's kind of like you see it's Mickey, but it's like he's trying to have sex with Minnie. So it's like, what? And it's like that weird, it looks different. That's what happens when you look down, because you see what's a little bit more reality, more truth than you were able to see before. And when you're looking up, it slowly comes into view. And so anyway, the point is of all of that is that we're raising our frequency up enough to perceive these individuals that are already here, buildings, places, things. And as we do, we're bringing our things like your fan, Nazi, we're bringing our reality, our physical reality with us, because that's our manifestations. And as we bring our manifestations with us, then they can interact with them. It's really cool. And as another element, someone had mentioned earlier, grief, there is a lot of people leaving right now. We knew this was going to happen. We've been talking about it for 2 years, and it's been happening for longer than that. However, the grand departure is occurring in real time, and those of us that are here, we're interpreting this as death for many examples, though we're finding That simply what it is, see, we talk about new earth and old earth as they're physically, they're apart from each other by a great distance. And this is true for frequency. However, what it really looks like is it looks like it's overlapped. It looks like it's a world upon a world upon a world. Like anyone who's seen that movie, Valerian, the City of a Thousand Planets, my daughter brought that to my attention the other day. She's like, hey, this is how it really is. And it is. You're existing on a place. All you just, it's the limitation is the frequency that you're in. So as we raise our frequency, then we can begin to see it and then to interact with it. And as we're doing that, those individuals who were part of our experience, part of our family, part of our neighborhood, our community in some way, that were existing in this, what we are calling old earth, even though it's the same earth, as we're moving farther away frequency wise, these individuals appear to be perishing by our eyes, and we too for them. Dolores Cannon said this was going to happen, and it's she was right. Is It's happening, and so there are people leaving, and so we're also feeling a lot of this mourning, grief sensation as a result of it. So Miss T's time. Hi, Al. So happy to be here. So much anxiety and feelings of uncertainty, and indecisiveness. Yuck. Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. I like how you said that. You use words like I use words. So yeah, the anxiety, I kind of felt the nervousness coming in. It felt like a lot of people were getting ready to jump off into a waterway, like from a cliff for the first time. That's what it felt like. It didn't feel scary. It was like, here we go, and like that self-doubt and that what if energies across the board. The shift that happened on Monday, almost a whole week ago, has persisted through the week, and a lot has occurred from it. And so, yeah, that's exactly what you're talking about, the anxiety, uncertainty, and indecisiveness feeling. It really it started on Monday for a lot of people. And like I said, it feels like they're trying to, they're just about to jump, and they're not even jumping very far by my eyes, but it's that first leap, it's always the scariest to believe that what you've been seeing and experiencing throughout your life has truly really occurred. It's a thing. Sneak 69. Yes, my solar plexus is birthing something new. I know, dude. You're right. Exactly. There is some stuff going on. Timeline mergings. Thanks for mentioning that, Kenny. She's right. The timelines that we are closing and merging and becoming, it's like that. So that, again, you take that multidimensionality that we talked about, all those worlds on top of each other. If you take all of these and slide them together, and then exists simultaneously is what it looks like. And we're creating, it's what we're basically doing is we're putting them on top of each other so they can exist together. And in so doing, we discover what doesn't serve us. And so we remove those parts that were in the way anyway. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Laura, hi everyone. Anyone feeling dizzy, sick stomach, headache, and neck pain? Okay, the neck pain is something I really can relate to. Tightness would be more correct for me. There's like this weird tightness in my neck, but it doesn't feel like it's like something that's limiting exactly. There's something happening there. The stomach sickness, the headache, and feeling the dizziness. I've been noticing the dizzy/vertigo from afar. Again, I'm interpreting this as the individuals who seem to be at that precipice of the jumping off place that, okay, I'm going to just go ahead and believe what I believe and see what happens. A lot of people have been trained to believe like they are going to cause some kind of irreversible damage, and there's a lot of fear there. So it takes a little while to allow that initial step to occur. Denise, hello, Mila. Lots of frustration this weekend. Bit of Buddha belly, overwhelmed. Yeah, this is basically what my experience has been. The frustration spiking up as it does. I really find myself needing to check myself. I don't like getting it out on other people, not only because I don't like hurting people's feelings, I don't like saying I'm sorry. I don't want to put myself in a position to require an amends to be given so that my energy that can be in balance with the other individual. And so because I don't want to do that, I avoid having to interact in a way that requires an apology later on. Therefore, um, there's a lot of explanation going on. I'm not mad at you. I'm frustrated and I don't know why. And so it doesn't get on you. I'm going to go over here now. I've been saying that a lot to people lately. And, I'm in a little teeny tiny town that everyone wants to know about us and get into, they start asking like these weird questions. Like, I forgot that people care about each other's past so much in the 3D. It's like, that doesn't mean anything. Why are you asking me that? Like, why would someone ask somebody else what they do for a living? Like, how do you get money? Why would you ask somebody that? It's so weird. Anyway, so I'm just walking away a lot. um, Echo says, "Yep, dizzy, nausea, or headache, low back pain, chills, vibrations, teeth pain. Yep, everyone's getting this. The lack of motivation part is what kind of caught me off guard because I feel so motivated and so inspired to create a long list of things that I want to get done. And it's not even like have tos. It's like, yay. If I go get this thing, I can do this now. And like, no, I'm just good. Nope. Just nope. I'm very, very tired. If you looked at me from the outside and didn't talk to me at all and thought, had no way to know if I was a happy person or not, I would look like I'm depressed by the way that I sleep right now. I sleep weird. I have what would look like insomnia at night because I don't want to go to bed. Charmony's here. I love all of your emojis. Thank you for sharing your love. The rainbow sparkles. And then I finally do get to sleep in like the the wee hours of the morning where the birds are already up. Hey, there's 1, 2, 3 people here between YouTube and Facebook. And then I get to sleep for a couple of hours and then I'm awake and I get to decide and I go back to bed. And I go back to bed until I have to get out of bed. And that's what it's been like. The downloads that I'm getting at night is pretty much, you can really keep a clock by it these days. I don't know about y'all, but like around usually by 9 o'clock, I'm already feeling it starting to slowly just coming in. But then by 11, 12, 1, it's full on. Like the downloads are coming in. And I'm grateful that my daughter's in bed by then because then I can just like drool at the wall is what I feel like I'm doing. Usually I'm outside when I'm doing it, but just wow. And then we do it again the next day. And then feeling incredibly tired the entire time. That's the weirdest part is I really feel tired. I really feel tired. Like I could nap all day long. And then when I can finally go to bed, I'm like, I'm not going to bed. I feel like a little kid, right? I don't want to do anything, Nezzy says. Yeah. Very disorganized, Ruth. Lack of motivation. Yeah, it's really weird. I've been guided to move slowly. Hey, it's really cool that I'm hearing these comments that I'm talking about, the same thing I'm talking about right now. That's really awesome. Let's see. Sneak 69. Yes, I came home from work and my front yard was magically mowed. Wow. That's cool. That's a fun, a little magic moment. You get to have that gift. And you're not supposed to, because you're not supposed to do it right now. We're supposed to just like Elsa's here. Morning, Mila. Good morning to you. She had something very valuable to say that I'm going to repeat. She told me something after the fact. So if anybody is for some reason feels the need to climb high distances, like getting on a ladder to hang something up or clean a gutter, wait, just don't do it right now. She said that And like she was probably sending me that message when it was happening. I fell. Like normally that wouldn't have been a thing, but my balance is off a lot more than normal. Yeah, it's been taking chills. I have energy. I want to do lots. Then I end up leaving it. Yeah, it's really weird. Oh, spiritual warriors here. Good to see you, spiritual warrior. Johnny says, still having depression occasionally. A lot of people are. A lot of people are, especially as this stuff's coming up and not being able to be seen all the way. It's really hard to, it's at first not the simplest task to teach ourselves to see it as it comes in. We've been taught, conditioned for so long to um, like stuff it when it comes in, to not experience, to allow it to move through as an experience and then therefore move on. And the result of that, of repressing emotions, is often the sensation of depression. Not to mention the global experience of this impending doom that a lot of people are feeling in spikes as it's leaving, because we're no longer in the need for this. This is a frequency that we're not keeping in this earth. There's no Armageddon. There's no oh no kind of stuff. It's playing out someplace else, and so we are getting like the echo of it, but it's not something for us to, though we are feeling it. And so what you're talking about, that feeling stuck, feeling lost, feeling like interfered with, energy is usually where the depression stuff is coming in right now. And that's just meant to go and to move through. I definitely understand what you're talking about. I had chronic depression for a good portion of my earlier life, up until about 5 years ago or so, really. um just keep coming, just keep showing up. That's the only thing that we can really answer for that. That's what I did. It is that, for things like this, it was that the tables were turned, and I was joining in the audience of Guardian of Orion's weekly Zoom meetings and or lives, and just talking to people in the audience like others are engaging with each other here. And we find that as soon as we start to speak our truth and allow these parts to come out, then we no longer have to be in a prison, a self-imposed, self-perpetuated prison. And it's difficult to realize that we're the ones doing it, because it does feel very much like this victim experience. And I hope you understand, I'm not calling you this. This is just something that I learned through. And so coming and speaking my truth and finding so many people saying me too made it possible to release all of it, that you don't have to hide it anymore. Like that the importance of privacy, it turns out, is something that was intentional. They made it seem important on purpose, so we would create this self-imposed prison, if that makes any sense. Kenny says, I breathe relaxation and more of my divine essence into all my cells. Awesome. That's exactly how it's done. Elsa, dry lips so much here. Yeah, dry lips on Julie's side too. I've been struggling with that, definitely. In fact, I really thought about putting chapstick on before I started, but I couldn't find it. I use it occasionally. I'll use the bee wax kind. Vegan Vixen, I can't seem to train anymore. My head wants to run, swim, and hike. My body doesn't. I'm just going for quiet walks and a bit of weight training. That's awesome that you're doing stuff, though. That's really a highly encouraged thing to do. Any kind of physical activity that we can do definitely helps. Definitely helps. And hey, look at Elsa's point. Elsa's in Australia, opposite side of the globe, and then dry lips. It's not a seasonal thing. A lot of times, a lot of these things that we've come to believe as seasonal, and then having these conversations with people in completely opposite climates to us, it makes it difficult to believe that narrative any longer. You know what I mean? And so it is really cool to see that, to compare notes there. Drinking cucumber infused water today. So refreshing. A lot of people really enjoy this, and it is very good for you. My body only likes cucumber when I'm pregnant. Like, that's weird. I know everybody's got their thing. I don't like the odor of it. It doesn't smell good unless I'm pregnant. That was actually how I found out I was pregnant. I could smell cucumber and it smelled good, and I was like, wait, what? And no one else could smell it. And I was like, oh no, am I pregnant? Is it possible? So yes, it has been hard to get into our routines. Yeah, yeah, really bizarre, really bizarre how, and it's stuff we like to do. It's not stuff that's like a job or undesirable. It's just, we just don't want to right now. Body and soul don't want to work out. Yeah. Yeah. See, I mean, thank you so much, all of you, for saying me too. Everyone's experiencing this. It's so bizarre for me. Shannon, hey Mila, slow mo for show. It's like we have been preparing for something only to realize it's the very moment we were preparing for more self-care. Yeah, yeah, that's a really good way of saying it's like we've been preparing for something only to realize it's this very moment we were preparing for. And then you're like, okay, now what do I do? Like, is there more tables to set up? Is there, yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you, Shannon. Thank you for speaking up. Love you, girl. I was just thinking about you the other day. Old records carried out with waters in us, mucus, origin code to see us. Thank you. Yeah, there's been this weird mucus stuff. It's, my daughter says bless you to everything. She says bless you when you burp, when you sneeze. She says bless you when you fart. And she says bless you when you cough. And I have like this little cough that just, and then it's good for a while. And she's been saying, the kids saying bless you so much that it's just like, oh my gosh. It's really precious that she does it. But it makes me more aware of how often I'm having this mucus. And it's just one cough. And then I got mucus to go and spit out someplace, because yes, I'm not going to swallow that again if I don't have to. The mucus I found is something I asked about, and it has to do with this mucus is something that's not us. And if you can look at it in a broader spectrum way, it is toxin itself, and it's been in our bodies and it's leaving. It's like, I kept seeing a lot of visual examples of like deep water sea fish, deep sea water, deep sea fish, whatever. The fish that are really, really deep in the sea. However, the words are meant to be put together to explain that. As they slowly emerge or rise, ascend from the depths of the ocean, the pressure changes, and they can, if they are brought up too quickly, they can explode. And this was an example that they were, and this isn't meant to say we're going to explode or anything like that, okay? But this is an example of what they were showing, what it looks like for this mucus. It's a lot smaller when it's deep in our body. And as it comes and gets exposed to the air and stuff, it's like foam, like one of those spray can things of whipped cream or something, where you spray it and it's a lot bigger than it would be if it was in a smaller form. It's the same kind of concept, this mucus, and it's a delivery system. It's to get rid of it. This is old code that's no longer in use or useful to us. Man, I'm really behind on the comments, so I'm jumping way down. Let's see here. Let's try to, because I'm gonna have to wrap it up about 15 minutes or so. Be okay with not knowing. Logic no longer needed. Yes, Kenny. Man, you really are on it. Like, it's true. It's okay. It's okay to not know. I would say that I've gotten more okay with that over the past little while, having so many individuals come to me in sessions with like a Christmas list or a Santa list of what they want from spirit. And how it works is spirit gives you what you need, not always what you want. I just looked up and I've been aired live for 44 minutes and 44 seconds right at that moment. That's really cool. It's what you need, not so much what you want. And we do eventually line up to where our wants are in alignment with what's needed, and we learn how to be in that place of appreciation. Um, anyway, so more and more, we're just going with the next thing. The next thing is the next thing. It's going to come forward and show itself to you. And it does. It always does. Allowing yourself to just go with the flow, you know. What my life is like now, I do have scheduled appointments, and so there are certain things that I need to be present for. My phone tells me, hey, I have a 15-minute alarm and I have a 3-minute alarm because that person who shows up to things way early, or I'm a few minutes late because I'm ready like at least 30 minutes early. And then it's like, okay, what do I do with 30 minutes? 30 minutes isn't long enough to do much of anything. And so that ends up being me being late, just the way that it works. Unless I have my phone and tells me, hey, it's time. Other than that, whatever spirit presents and puts in front of me, that's what's meant to be done next. And sometimes spirit is very clear. And sometimes it's just, oh, that looks like a cool idea. Okay, I'll do that thing. That's what we're doing now. And going with the flow and being in the moment that we're in, the way that we're able to right now is such a beautiful gift. I am so blessed to have the flexibility that we do in our lives, and anyway, to be able to connect with all of you on a regular basis, to feel the love, to feel the me too, Vanya. Maybe it's a language we have to potentially wait to decipher. Wonder what that comment was. I can't decipher anything. I don't know what the hell's going on half the time. I get you. I hear you. Oh wait, I think she's talking to. I lost it. Okay, let's just stop trying to click on everybody's private conversations inside here. Anyway, I didn't know cucumber really had a smell. Yeah, they really do. But the smell of fish and meat, to me, a good few years now, is at times so yuck. Other times bearable. Yeah, cucumbers smell. I don't mind the smell of pickles, but pickles don't smell like cucumbers anymore. So cucumbers smell like my stomach wants to puke. I don't know. That's what I don't know. Immediately, even just thinking about what it smells like, it's a very odd odor, and I don't know. It's something that's just me. It's really good for you. It's really good for you. So anybody who can, yeah, all about it. But I put a slice of cucumber, lemon, and ginger. Yeah, I remember when I was first just starting to care about my body, because I didn't care. I didn't. I expected an early end, as soon as possible. And so I didn't consider need for health and take care of myself. In fact, I was rather unkind to my body for a lot of years. What am I getting at? Oh, Gatorade. I used to drink Gatorade a lot, and cucumber. They started putting cucumber in Gatorade, and that I was able to tolerate slightly, but it was off. And then I looked and I'm like, oh, there's cucumber in it. That's why it tastes weird. And I don't know. Everybody's got their thing. Like, I'll eat Brussels sprouts till they're, gone. Like, I love Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts go in everything. As far as onions and Brussels sprouts is pretty much, they go in anything. And a lot of people don't feel that way. A lot of people probably are getting the same mineral and vitamins that I'm getting for Brussels sprouts from their cucumbers, probably. I don't know. Let's see. I jumped down again. I had mucus coming up for months. It's not exactly nice, but I understand it needs to go. Yeah. It's really interesting how many people have this. And by how many countries, different seasons, summer in the summer, summer in the winter, autumn, spring. It's it doesn't matter. and it's simultaneous to everyone else. Everyone else is having the same experience at the same moment, no matter where you are on the planet. I find this really fascinating because a lot of these things we just kind of took for granted. Oh, it's this cold season or flu season, or this is the season, blah, blah. Yet now we're talking to people all over the planet and finding out everybody's having it simultaneously. And our version is just off enough that, I don't know, how much of it did we believe in this other way, and then it really wasn't that thing, you know what I mean? Um, let's see. Nazi says, I'm grateful to know that I'm not the only one going through this. I'm grateful for you, Mila. Thank you, Nazi. I'm grateful for you too, for all of you coming in and for being part of this. You know, it's, I remember realizing that we could help, you know, at the time, 20 people in 1 hour. Um, when I went live, I didn't want to go live. I'm not that person. Like, I'm not a podcaster in my head, you know, and going live would mean that I was. Um, it did, labels and identity and stuff still mattered back then. And enough, it mattered enough that I was aware of it. Anyway, then I saw that, you know, you could help, at the time, 20 people. 20 people were coming on the show when I was live. I was like, what? It was worth it. Helping 20 people in a single hour, you know, and now, you know, we average, you know, usually we get up to the 120s of people that are viewing at the time during the live, and it'll sustain around that time. What kind of beautiful awesomeness is that? That is totally worth the time. It's totally worth making it available so y'all can connect and see that you're not alone. I would say that of all the stuff that we go through as whatever you want to call yourself, I know we have awakened people, we have star seeds, we have, you know, empaths, we have all these different words that all mean the same thing. It means us. It all means us. And you know how much we can do when we find out that we're not alone. We know that out of all the things that we experience throughout this awakening journey, that of all of it, when we know that we're doing it with other people, when other people are doing something identical or very similar to what we're doing, and therefore we can understand it and no longer be in a place of fear, that is the solution. That's how we do this as one, the one that we are. You know, so I just want to say thank you to all of you for you showing up and being present for these conversations makes this possible. You know, if I came on here and I was alone, I wouldn't probably do it, right? And then more people view it after, then that there's, you know, like another 1,000 people that will come and view it and get something from it. And then those of you who like, subscribe, and share it out, make it possible to reach more viewers. I don't like to typically ask people to do that. It feels, I don't know, if someone would like to like it and to share it and to subscribe, that's their choice, you know. And so I kind of feel weird asking someone to do that, but I do enjoy saying thank you to those of you who have, you know, who have liked this and who have shared it in particular, because everything that we need is always presented to us. And if you're called to do that with someone, then that individual is in the need of it. And we can help some more people that way. So anyway, I'm very touched emotionally today. I am in such a place of joy and of bliss. And I'm just happy. I'm just happy. And, you know, it's okay for those of you who are experiencing what I am and aren't showing anything of your day right now. You know, like I'll do a session or two, and you know, I'll it's summertime, so officially I don't have to be doing homeschool, but we still are doing some. You know, she still does an essay a day and during the week, and We do a couple of math problems and stuff, but for the most part, we're all taking time off because even though, our little crystalline children are, not going through as much ascension symptoms as we are, they still are. And I've noticed the lack of desire to do much of anything from her side too. Like, we had the opportunity to have our groceries delivered or to go to get them. And everybody in the house voted to have them delivered. And I found that really funny because it's not that far of a drive. But, we just, none of it. We don't want to do any of it right now. And that's okay. You're not alone. Rest, water, salt, whatever it is that you can um, to do to help yourself right now. So Robin says, haha, I've been staring at my gutter wanting to clean them. Elsa Dillon, or thank you, Elsa Dillon, for the warning. Yeah, dude, I'm so glad you were here to hear that. Like, I was hanging up this really cool wind chime. Excuse me, this really cool wind chime. I was so excited. I've never gotten myself anything like that before. Like, I get things like that for other people, but I never got a wind chime for myself before. Like, I was so excited. I let myself do it. Like, yeah, I'll get this wind chime. It's beautiful and it has a gorgeous sound. And I couldn't wait. I had to hang it up. And so, but I was hanging it up by standing on a stair with a chair. Yeah. And I forgot that I was not on a stable platform once I was done hanging it. It was time to come down, and I didn't just, yeah. And at the same time, Elsa Dillon sending me a message saying, don't climb any ladders or anything. Hey, and you know what? Charmony said this a few minutes ago, and it just went back to that amount, at least through YouTube and Facebook combined. So that's really cool. We love and appreciate you showing up for us. I love and appreciate you all for showing up too, you know, for for coming and for speaking out. I mean, for having conversation with each other. Do it. Yeah, like this is how. Thank you for doing it. It's hard. It's hard to say something. It's hard to speak up and say this is what I'm going through. Um, I've always been that person who kind of waited to hear someone else say a thing before I said it. And you know what? I'm starting to just say it. It's okay if I'm going to end up being wrong. You know, what I've been getting about the solar flares has been right every time. And I've just not said it because what if it's wrong? You know what? That's okay. What I am getting though is we're going to get a pretty big size solar flare for a week from today. Um, it's going to be at least impacting us by this day. Um, so that's the 16th/15th. So there it is. I'm going to allow myself to say those things out loud, and once we say something out loud, then you see everybody else can say it out loud. It's weird. I've done it where I've said these things out loud in a private group, like there's 7 or 8 of us in a Zoom meeting. Pardon me. And as soon as I said it, then all of a sudden, within a few hours, people were producing content on YouTube with this in the headline. You know what I mean? It makes it so you can, other people can speak it by speaking it yourself. It's the most, I don't know how that works. I just know that it does work. It's really neat. So, Charmony, yes, Mila, my heart is exploding with love, love, love. Love wins, all one. Back to unity, oneness. I love this. And then community is communication and unity. Isn't that neat? When I understood that, I was like, oh yeah, dude. Chocolate, yeah. Uh-huh. It's been funny how many people I've been talking to the past couple of days that have been like, I mean, we're like, you remember that Dr. Demento song, the junk food junkie? Like he's like, he's really like purist, he called himself granola in the song. And like he's like, eating unbleached this and clear that and his hand thrown pottery jar, and he's doing all this stuff, and then the clock strikes midnight, and he's like, creeping into like this little place where he hides all these Twinkies and stuff. That's what it feels like. Everybody's like reporting to me, like confessing themselves, because a lot of people all of a sudden are like, I don't know why, but my body's wanting what we call junk food, where it's wanting more. Now, there's nothing wrong with chocolate, especially if it's what we talked about here, uh, Vegan Vixen. Oh yes, the 85% dark chocolate, eating so much of it, where there's like, it's a little more in alignment of it. We're not talking exactly like a Hershey's bar. And so, just so y'all know, like everybody else is doing that other stuff too. A lot of people are. I just did. I was like, I think I ate like 2 donuts, and my body's really not happy with me about it, but I did it, and I'm like enjoyed it, So I don't know why. I don't know why so many people are finding themselves we can transmute anything. You're not hurting yourself exactly when you're eating impurely, whatever. I don't really have a good and not good kind of category for food. It's what my body's calling me to eat, and I just try to listen to her. Sometimes my body asks me to eat meat, and most often, not always, but most often, my body wants to eat meat because it knows that my body doesn't care for it, and I need a purge. Like I need to, and so it flows everything out very quickly. Sometimes that's what that is, you know. So it all depends. It all depends on the experience of the individual. My first time on your live chat, says Laura. Thank you for your Q&A videos. They have helped me so much. Oh, awesome. I know I'm not alone and crazy. Love and many blessings to you. Thank you, Laura. I'm very happy to hear that we're able to help individuals, and to know that you're not alone. And thank you, Sprite 400, super sticker 999, character holding their hands together saying thanks. It's probably the the way that it translates on Restream, it tells you. So thank you very much. That was really generous of you. I really appreciate that. Denise, using our throat chakra is healing our ancestral lineage too. It's right. It's right. I would say that the throat chakra is the ancestral healing that needs to be done for the most part. If you had to pick one spot, it would be the throat chakra. And if you could pick two, we would go to the root chakra. Over reliance on the root chakra due to lack of security. There always being a consequence to speaking your truth, to telling your truth, to being your truth. This consequence then causes often this over dependence on the place of safety of the chakra that's the lowest one in the location. And so you're finding a lot of purging there too. Also, more need for grounding. Like Spiritual Warrior mentioned about dark chocolate is incredibly grounding, and I agree. So are root foods like tubers, so potatoes and ginger, and like I prefer the sweet potato the most. It's like considered a superfood in my world anyway. I don't know if that's true or not, but my body really likes that. Like I'll just bake a couple of them and I'll just leave them around, and I'll just eat them. Like I don't put anything on it or anything. I just eat sweet potatoes. Other things like this too. We're finding more and more this root need the want to be grounded in some way and working on the root area. Remembering that we're not reliant on our root chakra when we realize that we are safe. We realize we are secure. The reason that we get the visuals of individuals come through sometimes being religious figures is due to that person being having a religious background. It's not meant to be a lie. It's meant to show you who they are, show you what their intention is by their visual representation of self. This visual representation of self brings forward and elicits this sensation of safety, showing you you're safe. Who they are and what their intention is a safe one. So the same thing is happening as on a wider, more broader scale for each individual, and realizing that you are financially secure, that you are physically secure and safe. And once we understand completely the level of safety that we are enjoying, there no longer is an over dependence on this chakra. And then a balance can then begin. So this is what is being discussed the most in this in spirit. So I don't really know how much more other ways I can explain that, but they're still talking about it right now. So just to keep this in mind, over the coming days. Um, Dr. Demento, it's funny you remember Dr. Demento. My brother used to listen to that when we were young, dude. I still I I don't I've never really been a big fan of Christmas music. My mom is a very, very, very big fan of Christmas music, is probably why. And so during their 24-hour marathon of Christmas music, my mom would like just tape it. So we had to be quiet because it was like an old tape recorder kind of setup. So we couldn't make any noise. And then after she would tape it for 24 hours, then she'd play that tape all the time, all year long. You know how long we had our Christmas decorations up? And because it made her happy. That made her feel happy. Christmas season was a happy time for her. Therefore, the only Christmas songs I would sing was the Dr. Demento versions, because that's just me. That's who I was as a teenager. Yellow snow, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. Anyway. There's some really um, inappropriate ones too that I would feel guilty saying out loud. Some of them really. Anyway, yeah. Tapping is great to acknowledge and affirm I am safe. Thank you for saying this. Very perfect. Very and tapping, this is something you can learn to do. This is something I'm going to get going into just after this comment. I'm really glad that you said that, own your shit. I love your name, own your shit. I know I told you that last time too. The different type of tapping, you can look it up on YouTube. There's a lot of different versions of this found on YouTube, but what they're doing is they're teaching you to tap certain areas of your body. There's certain places that if you tap these places, let me find my spot, there we go, you're vibrating your body in that spot. Like there's places, like the one I like to do is here. That's my favorite. Like, so you cross your fingers over your heart, and there's a lot of, there's the bra line on it. You go along the line. I only showed you a couple of my favorite spots that were easy to show. Doing this while you're doing something, you're either unteaching yourself or you're teaching yourself. You're releasing something or you're accepting something, right? And so while you're doing that, declaring what you're doing, whether it be with your voice or just in thought, understand what you're doing and declare that's what you're doing in the occurrence. It's really helpful. And people who tap have so much awesome shifting and changing and self-empowerment come through that they get a little obsessed. And you'll start to see them after a while. They have small calluses. Callusi? Is that how you say plural and callus? I love trying to find the plural of some words. Callusi. They'll have callusi. No, that's not a real word. In the areas that they tap the most, it's kind of fun. The most common one you'll see the calluses for, like at the eyebrow line. They'll see the person like tapped all along. Anyway, it really is helpful though. It's calming, like Denise here says. It's calming. It's yeah, and it's also a affirmation. Calluses. I don't want to say calluses, that spiritual warrior. Callusi sounds so much cooler. Like, I really like talking about octopus. That way I can say octopi. Really, that's cacti. I like the plural. Um, yeah. So thank you all for joining. Oh, hello, Danita. Good to see you. Lots of love and hugs to you as well. There's something very Matrix about Christmas music. I can't put my finger on it. Yeah. And so that was my own version of uncoding it, and doing it my own thing with it. But I got to get going. It's 3:10. Um, Thank you all for joining me today. No, we're in a really great energy. I just barely felt something just now shift, like in my solar plexus area. Something just shifted for us. It was simultaneous to third eye. Third eye and solar plexus is fascinating because usually it's throat chakra and solar plexus that connect by the esophageal line. I wonder how that occurred. That's very fascinating. Wow. Okay. Anyway, I should wrap this up. I love you all so much. Thank you. Hey, 411. That's the lowdown. That means the lowdown for those of you out of a different country than we are in. 411 is the information station. And so allowing yourself to look at that as this is the lowdown, this is the information, this is the scoop. Um, in the next couple of days, we're going to continue to get some awesome energy. And as it comes in, understand that that's okay. That's okay. Whatever it is that's shifting through is a temporary thing. And whatever you're experiencing is exactly what's meant to come through right then. Um, we have a couple of really amazing, phenomenal blooms of energy that are going to occur between now and really the 22nd. Of course, the 20th at 3:50 p.m. Central Time is the exact moment of the summer solstice for the northern hemisphere, and it's the winter solstice for the southern hemisphere. So it's either the first day of summer or the first day of winter, depending on where you are in the world. Um, it's also the longest day of the year or the shortest day of the year, the longest night for the southern hemisphere. Um, and so knowing this is the longest day of the year for me always means really intense, thick, big energy. So just over the coming next 2 weeks, um, know you're okay. There's a lot of people doing this stuff together. And, you know, if anyone does feel like they need to reach out, we do have a Telegram group where there's like 450 people there, and there's all these like side little groups inside the group. It's really cool how it's just naturally formulated itself. And so allowing, this just to go into this place, you can only get to it through the link I have attached to the description of this video. It's because it's considered private. No one random can jump in. They have to know that we're us and click on the link. So they can join into that group by clicking on the link. So can you. And there's always somebody awake because there's people from all over the planet in these groups. It's really cool. So it's one more thing. I saw that Own Your Shit mentioned my hair. There's something about my hair today. I don't ever do my hair this way. And I used to have something like this braid back in my early 20s. I had a bead on the end. I left it and like I dyed it green. And that was the thing that was in my hair forever, but I haven't done it since. And I don't know what it is, but you just allow spirit to do, and I do. I don't usually pick my own wardrobe anymore. It's not because I don't feel like I'm allowed to. It's because I don't want to. I don't care. And spirit does it for me. So my hair was done this way today. Like I was just like, okay, this is what's happening. Right on. It's very Nordic. It's kind of reminiscent of this, like allowing ourselves to understand this Odin energy that's coming in, this Nordic energy, the All Mother. Because we already had the All Father, the All Mother is now fully anchored. And being anchored as she is, now the balance and understanding of each of the divine genders is being revealed. And so this is a time of great cleansing, of purging, and of rest in order to allow all this to download and to occur. So that was cool. I love you all. Thank you all for coming. It's because you're aging in reverse. Thank you. Yeah, there's braids are powerful, made with intention. Yeah, it was very. I really was in the when I was doing the whole braid. It seemed like it took 3 years because I was so there was so much that came in while I was doing it. A lot of stuff, but I love you all so much. Thank you. Know that you're not alone. And I will be back on Wednesday with uh, Jeanette. Yeah, with Jeanette. It's going to be a great conversation. The live for that one is going to be delayed by an hour or two. I'm not sure the timing. She's in Australia, and so it's super duper early morning for her when we normally go live. And so it depends on something to do with what she normally does in the morning. She'll get back to me, and I'll let you all know at least a day in advance when the live will start. It's going to be a really great conversation. Jeanette's been a beautiful energy along this awakening journey to connect with. So I can't wait for our conversation. I look forward to seeing you all there. If you are interested in doing a session with me, there is a link in the description of this video. It'll take you to a website called Calendly where you can pick a time. And I have a lot of openings right now. So if you are interested, it's $77 for a session. Thank you all. Sending you all so much love.